revealing the handling of illegal villas in Qinling Mountains. File number 200-30106, file name Qinling Villa Incident. File level C with over 1,000 illegal villas. They laid down the 72-nail array, intending to destroy the Dragon Vein of China. 6 instructions from superiors failed to demolish them. Behind it, it was a company with ties to the Japanese right wing. The founder's family relationship is complex. Highest father-in-law was a war criminal of the Japanese army. After the war, he studied Chinese feng shui dragon veins, intending to weaken our country's luck. Even the mysterious 7 wine parties were investigated. It turned out that all this was related to the Japanese. Here is the detailed record of this file. The Kunlun Mountain is the source of the dragon veins. The Qinling Mountains are regarded as one of the main dragon veins, and regarded as a symbol of national fortune. Its significance to the entire Chinese land is irreplaceable. From the Xia dynasty to the present, the Qinling Mountains are not only a natural barrier, but also the cradle of human civilization, but also the watershed of the Yellow River and Yangtze River. For thousands of years, countless Chinese ancestors have thrived under its protection, thrived and multiplied. It can be said that without the Qinling Mountains, there would be no China today. Since ancient times, the Qinling Mountains have been endowed with endless mystery. Whether it is emperors, generals or feng shui masters, they all regarded the Qinling Mountains as the most sacred. But if someone does evil, cut off or lock the Qinling dragon vein, what would be the consequences? In the early 21st century, there was a Japanese real estate company registered in Hong Kong, entered China for development. Strangely, they did not choose the eastern coastal provinces with prosperous real estate, nor the first-tier cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou and Shenzhen, but came to the Qinling Mountains. They built high-end villas in the mountainous areas with poor traffic. To build these villas, they spent a huge amount of money. It was the era of real estate boom. If these huge funds were invested in big cities, they would have made a lot of money. However, they chose to build villas in the remote Qinling Mountains. Building villas seemed very suspicious. However, when building these villas, the developers also imposed a total lockdown on the site. No outsiders were allowed to enter the construction site. Even local villagers who wanted to pass by were stopped from passing. Gradually, their behavior caused strong dissatisfaction among the local villagers. But later, the developer, in order to silence, actually gave the villagers subsidies of 1,000 yuan per month. Later, this abnormal behavior attracted the attention of some people. One of them, surnamed Han, who has a deep research on this field, he noticed that there was a big problem with the location of the villas. Generally, when developers plan villas, would not be scattered too far apart, because they need to make rational use of land space. But the villas in Qinling are scattered very far apart. Each villa is built hundreds of meters apart. If it were an ordinary person, they wouldn't find any problems. But after Mr. Han connected the villas together, he found that these villas are arranged according to the Fengli 72-nail array. The 72-nail array is also called the dragon trap, as long as at the dragon's horn, the dragon's head, dragon's back, and other key points, drive piles tens of meters deep. The dragon vein can be nailed to the ground like a nail. After seeing this scene, he suspected that someone was deliberately destroying Qinling's dragon vein. He reported it to the relevant departments, but because there was no exact evidence, so he could only let it go. Mr. Han decided to contact his friends to investigate this villa area. But strangely, before the investigation began, his friend had an accident. All of this seemed like a coincidence, but Mr. Han felt that someone did it on purpose, which made him feel deeply powerless. Fortunately, soon after, there was a new development. From May 2014 to July 2018, the superior issued 6 instructions in a row. The wording became more and more severe, repeatedly emphasizing, urging relevant departments to investigate and demolish illegal villas in Qinling. But some people at that time were duplicitous and even falsified. The superior naturally noticed this, so they paid great attention to it. It was because the illegal construction of villas in Qinling and involved many people. If the forces behind it were to be uprooted, some special means must be used. The top management wanted to stabilize the people's hearts and give the people an explanation. Of course, the most important thing is to break the dragon vein, to destroy the conspiracy of the evil forces. Finally, Beijing handed this burden to the mysterious Bureau 749, the 749 Bureau, which specializes in supernatural phenomena. has always been the most mysterious unit in our country. No one knows their organizational structure, let alone the specific number of personnel. Naturally, we don't know the means of the Bureau. Soon the Bureau of 749 rushed to the scene. However, when all the construction machinery entered Qinling, they were blocked by the masses who didn't know the truth. Represented by Wang from the 6th group of Kaijiapo village, they helped people from several surrounding villages. They came to the demolition site with banners and slogans, forcibly preventing workers from working. Wang shouted, "Why only demolish ours, but not theirs? You probably don't have the guts. If you demolish theirs, you will bully us ordinary people." They even claimed to be ordinary people. Ask yourself, which common people has the ability to build villas in Qinling? Neither their connections nor financial resources, I am afraid, can't meet the conditions for building villas in Qinling Mountains. On the surface, they are villagers in the surrounding villages, but in fact any one of them has a simple status. However, the people from Bureau 749 didn't confront them. Instead, they wanted to learn about it from the side. Where the villa they dare not demolish is located. And who is the owner? Whose villa is it? Such a big villa. Could it be that even the 749 Bureau dare not touch it? After some investigation, the Bureau finally figured out the reason. It was on Qinling North Road, which is number 19 Kaijiapo village. There is a large and luxurious villa. It is said that the owner is very mysterious. Most importantly, this villa has stood here for 10 years, and no one dares to touch it. As early as the first time the superior ordered, investigate illegal villas in Qinling Mountains. The mysterious villa was built here. From the first request for investigation, to the later 5 or 6 direct requests for demolition, local officials only did some superficial work. They only demolished some surrounding villas, symbolically, but they never dared to touch this one. This villa, called number 19, is known as the first nail house in Qinling. As soon as the experts from Bureau 749 couldn't help frowning, they found that the location where the villa was built was very particular, which can also be said to be sinister. The Qinling Dragon Vein runs east-west, and is adjacent to the Taoist sacred mountain Zhongnan Mountain. Since ancient times, Qinling Mountains and Zhongnan Mountains have always been favored by emperors and generals. With abundant aura, it can be said that Qinling and Zhongnan Mountains are complementary. If the Dragon Vein is regarded as a dragon, then Zhongnan Mountain is the location of dragon claws. Because the Qinling Dragon Vein runs east-west, so where should the nail-shaped villa be built? It is built in the southeast direction of the Dragon Vein, on the dragon's leg, and the further south is the position of the dragon's claws. No wonder the experts of Bureau 749 were angry. They saw that over the villa, there was a purple light that ordinary people couldn't detect. As the saying goes, purple air comes from the east. From the perspective of feng shui, can be said to be a place of outstanding people. They lived here, while making their own fortune prosperous. They also fixed the dragon legs. What else could it be but a sinister intention? Such a profound feng shui bureau, without the guidance of a master, it is hard for ordinary people to do. The 749 Bureau ordered to demolish this building first. Even if its owner is the king of heaven, it must be demolished. At this time, she, the leader of the Qinling illegal villa investigation team, told the person in charge of the 749 Bureau, all villas could be demolished, but this one couldn't be demolished. Why not? The person in charge of Bureau 749 glared at CC, stammered, and couldn't explain the reason, but he refused to demolish the villa anyway. In a hurry, Xi had to ask his superior for instructions. Sun Dong, a senior leader in Xi'an, after learning about the situation, personally rushed to the demolition site. He negotiated with the person in charge of Bureau 749, even if he was a high-ranking official. The 749 Bureau naturally wouldn't be polite. Whether it was Dong or others, they only knew that these people came from Beijing, with special identities, and they had special care from the Beijing authorities. Even the supervisory group from above gave them a lot of respect. As for what department they were from, or their positions, no one in Shanxi province knew. At that time, Dong was also puzzled. Even ordinary leaders had to be respectful to him. Why were they so arrogant? The negotiation was not smooth. Dong wanted to lose his temper several times, but as a veteran in officialdom, before he confirmed their identities, he didn't dare to lose his temper rashly. He had to endure it. The negotiation lasted for 2 days. The person in charge of the 749 Bureau was unyielding, only said one word from beginning to end, seeing that he couldn't stop it, and didn't want to make things too tense, thinking that maybe he couldn't afford to offend the person, it would be a big trouble. After thinking about it, Dong simply threw this hot potato to the then top leader of Shanxi Provincial Party Committee. Way in front of the 749 Bureau, he put on a posture of a big leader, and said lightly to them, "You can demolish other illegal buildings, but I don't think the villa on the 19th should be demolished. What is the impact of a mere house?" Although Wei was the top leader of Shanxi Provincial Party Committee, with absolute power, and he was almost the final word, but even such a big shot could not pose any threat in front of the people of 749. The person in charge of the 749 Bureau didn't give him face, which made Wei very angry. He stood up angrily and left in a hurry, just as everyone thought Wei had chosen to compromise. The people of Bureau 749 encountered a collective accident. The hotel where they were staying, there was a gas accident explosion. Fortunately, they had expected it, and no casualties were caused. The focus of the Bureau was on Villa 19, so they didn't have the energy to investigate the hotel explosion. So this matter was later dropped. However, the criminal's blatant terrorist attack is really outrageous. Obviously, this incident must be related to the 19th Villa on Qinling North Road. They couldn't do it openly, so they did it secretly. They tried every means to prevent the Bureau from demolishing the 19th Villa. This aroused the strong curiosity of the 749 Bureau. First of all, it can be confirmed that the other party's identity is not simple, and they are not short of money. For them, a villa, even if it costs 10 million yuan, it is just a drop in the bucket. Besides, they don't live here all year round. The meaning of the villa to them is just a place for leisure and vacation. It is not worth the trouble and go against their superiors. But they did it anyway. This is very strange. Perhaps there is something shameful in the villa. That is why they are so nervous. With this bold guess, the determination of Bureau 749 to demolish became more determined. They don't care, no matter how powerful the mastermind behind the scenes is. On September 29, 2018, at 12 o'clock noon, 3 excavators entered the site simultaneously. With the rumbling sound, the strongest holdout house collapsed. To everyone's disappointment, they didn't find anything special. It was nothing but some luxury goods, cultural relics, famous wines, and so on. The personnel of Bureau 749 did not give up, but after a full investigation, they immediately asked the workers to dig out the foundation. The trick may be hidden under the foundation. Sure enough, the workers saw 4 huge green snakes. They were pressed under the foundation and were still alive. The 4 green snakes were more than 10 meters long, with the size of an electric pole. Their entire bodies were coiled on the foundations. The 4 green snakes were suppressed for 10 years. The scene surprised even the experts of the Bureau. They never expected that. The dark forces behind the scenes were on the dragon legs. They suppressed the luck of 4 dragon veins, resulting in other dragon veins. We're also affected to varying degrees. Perhaps the successive natural disasters at that time, we're all related to this dragon vein. The 749 Bureau immediately decided to transport 3 of the green snakes to the Kunlun Mountains, Taihang Mountain, Changbai Mountain, leaving only 1 in Qinling. Meanwhile, Bureau 749 blocked all news here. Later, after multiple tests, 749 Bureau found a total of 1,194 villas. The layout of these villas is also extremely strange. Moreover, some foundations were over 50 meters deep, just like giant nails deeply embedded in the mountain, and they are scattered extremely, which completely violates the conventional logic of real estate development. Some villas are hidden in the deep mountains and dense forests. The mountain roads leading there are rugged and difficult. Each villa is far apart. Some experts have seen that these seemingly ordinary villas are actually a trapped dragon formation called Fengoli 72 Ding. The builders, by burying special reinforced concrete underground, and precisely positioned according to the layout of Fengoli, the depth and location of these pillars have been carefully calculated and designed. Its purpose is to fix the energy of the Qinling dragon vein, preventing it from flowing normally, thus destroying the vitality of the entire China dragon vein. Because in the eyes of the 749 Bureau, the villas built on key nodes are actually like dragon nails, are precisely nailed on the dragon vein to destroy the dragon vein's luck, to achieve evil goals. and the Zhanggan Dragon, where Qinling Mountain is located, is closest to the Beiguan Dragon in Beijing. As long as the Zhanggan Dragon is damaged, other dragon veins will also be damaged. It has to be said that this feng shui bureau is really well done. With the successful demolition of Villa 19, other owners of villas who didn't know the truth were speechless. And in the later demolition work, the Bureau of 749 found that under the foundations, there were not only a large number of cement columns, there were also 5 color altars and living piles. As the excavator gradually dug deeper into the ground, the scene unearthed at the site was terrifying. Around the 5 color altar were piled with various bones and metal utensils. The driving piles were even more shocking. At the bottom of these piles were buried with a large number of bones. The bones showed obvious signs of fragmentation and corrosion. Obviously, they were buried after special rituals. Were buried in the ground. When the last pillar of the Qinling Dragon vein was pulled out, the aura of the fungally 72 Ding formation has undergone a significant change. The vegetation in the Kaijiapo area had always been in an abnormal state of yellowing, but at this moment, the trees around seemed to come back to life. After the formation was completely broken, a heavy rain suddenly fell over the Qinling Mountains. The rain lasted for 3 days and nights, completely soaking the entire mountain range. It is said that the rain is cool and sweet, as if carrying a long-lost vitality. The trend of the dragon vein gradually resumed its former smoothness. The aura of mountains and rivers in the Qinling Mountains seems to have regained its vitality. In August 2018, the northern section of Qinling Mountains in Xi'an, the demolition of illegal villas was successfully completed. The Qinling Dragon vein is unobstructed. The Chinese nation will thrive for generations. Well, that is the end of our story for this episode. Thank you for watching. See you next time.